Today I'm on the Young Road, County Road 188, searching for youth. Don't worry folks, this is not another modeling. I've only got so many years to ride. I'm so old, or keep the old man out video that have been propagating the interwebs for a short period of time here. This is the Young Road. It's named different names as you go along. There's a couple of different routes, 88, 288, but it's called either Young Globe, Globe Young, Young Highway, Young Road. We're just going to call it the Young Highway today. So my young friends, let's diaper up, ice cream up, coffee up, and hit the road. We have just turned on to County Road 288, about 50 miles away from the town of Young, which is the reason for all these roads being called Young this or that. We are riding through the most beautiful Tonto National Forest, National Monument. Off to our left over here, you see the lake that is held back by the Roosevelt Dam. Just absolutely beautiful views. I hope they transfer to camera. There's so much that's expansive views in Arizona that I just cannot represent to you by video. This particular road is a in my opinion, a fantastic adventure motorcycle road. Not a dual sport road or a dirt bike road. It kind of embodies the original intent of venture motorcycles. It has fantastic pavement. There's gravel roads, there's towns to ride through, and fantastic scenery everywhere. It just embodies that kind of original large motorcycle, long distance. Probably for me it's going to be about a 400 to 500 mile day. I'm already about 140 miles into it. But if you are in Arizona and you are riding a gravel road capable vehicle, I highly recommend this as one of your stops, because you could break this up into a 2-day ride or a 4-day ride, a 5-day ride, because along this road are forest roads that break off here and there, places to explore beyond that. My intent was to break this up into a couple of days, but I am done trying to find a couple of days to string together to do a camping trip in recent times. So I'm doing this and busting it out all in one day. You could do that if you have a short period of time, but I encourage you, there's things off of this road, whichever segment it is, that you could go see, you could go ride, dirt and not so much pavement, but there's more dirt and stuff like that you could enjoy diving into the scenery that's out there. Well, my apologies to some of the folks that may be watching that are content creators and that have made videos of quote-unquote the old man videos. My personal outlook on life is I look at the moment I'm in. I don't bleed nostalgic for a time in the past that will never come back, and I don't look way forward to the future. That's on the horizon that I don't need to worry about right now. Try to focus on what I can do now, what I enjoy now, and be thankful and grateful for that. That's not to say that in your general life plan you don't learn from the past and plan for the future, but you certainly need to live in the now. Otherwise, if you're constantly in the past, you're wasting your time now hoping and wanting and wishing for a nostalgic thing that's never coming back. And if you are constantly living in the future, I can't wait for, I want to get there, can't wait for this time to pass, you're burning away the time that you have right now. And it's not some sage advice that I bring to you as some type of ultra smart person, which I am truly not. But that sentiment is reflected very much in just about any religion, any philosopher, any self-help book that is worth its weight. Any motivator will tell you, and any mentor will tell you the same thing. This is one of the really cool things about Arizona. Not 10 miles ago, just a few short minutes ago, we were in desert. We had saguaros, if you were paying attention, if your screen's big enough, lining the sides of the roads, small scrub brush and whatnot. And now we are heading to evergreens. We were up in junipers and pinyon trees, live oaks, and occasional pine tree dotted in here and there. We are gaining elevation. road has random tar. Or I guess random dirt. Flying along and on whichever surface you're on, flying along on pavement, and all of a sudden dirt pops up. Then you're riding along on dirt and then pavement pops up. It's like they had a stutter in their pavement machine or gravel machine, whichever. All right, we have stopped for a diaper swap out and a little water break. We are in Young, Arizona. The Pleasant Valley Museum over there, unfortunately, is not open. It must be at lunch or something. So, Young, Arizona was probably the focal point of the Pleasant Valley War. You can look that up. I'll do something on it someday. Story and the basis for a lot of Westerns, and there was a lot of Western folk heroes, legends, outlaws, whatever you want to call them, involved in it. Today, Young's a quiet little town of 588 people as of the 2020 census. They have a few restaurants and taverns here and a winery. There's definitely a ranch or two here, so agriculture is still part of what goes on in this town. Our little adventure today is going well. The motorcycle is performing as expected. We had a good time coming up the switchbacks over the hill and down the hill, and dirt and pavement and potholes galore. Our little adventure will continue on up to Hunter Creek in the 260, so we're going to jump back on the bike and head that way. Well, I do have to say that was an excellent ride. Tonto National Forest is absolutely beautiful, and I'm certain that it all did not transpose to video. I do need to get back to Tonto National Forest, and particularly the Young area. I think there's some more exploration to be done. There was road after road that I could have spun off on and taken a side trip. There's plenty of opportunities for camping, and Young has quite a bit of history that could be conveyed over video, and I think I will do that. So right now I am not too far from Payson. I'm going to head home from here. I've got about a 2.5 hour drive. I thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching. Adios.